how are you doing with your New Year's health resolutions? Huh? Have you broken them all by now? We start off right, but we end up kind of upside down. But we're here to help you on that today. I'm delighted to have in the studio with us today Kellie Hill. She's a nutritionist therapist with the right plan, right?
Correct. Yes.
The right plan.
Yes, that's what we try to do.
And, you know, it's a good thing because I think we start off with good intentions, but things kind of fall down. But boy, we are what we eat, aren't we?
Well, and I think the tough thing is people don't always understand that what works for you may not work for me. And so when you read those magazines and one tells you to do one thing and then something else tells you to do completely the opposite, they all work for somebody. It's just which one's right for you. So it's really finding the right plan.
So how do we do that?
It's complicated. If it was easy, I wouldn't have a job.
There you go. No, but that's why I think, you know, we just rush into these fast things and think they're going to work. You know, we live in this, I call it the microwave culture. We want everything instantly, but that's not how it works.
It isn't. And my specialty is really using whole foods. So foods in the most natural, it doesn't necessarily need to be raw, but the most natural state, so less processed. And for people, you know, give or take a little, around 40, we haven't learned to use our kitchen. So a lot of what I do is really get people back into the kitchen, using the whole foods, learning how to do it the way our maybe parents, but definitely our grandparents did it.
All right, so what is nutritional therapy?
So it's a science, and the idea behind it is that we use whole foods to find our optimal health, the nutrient-dense foods. Usually I don't recommend any cans or boxes, supplements, anything like that. We really try to get everything from a very natural state. Now for some people, and especially when you're talking certain areas like here in the Rogue Valley, there are some supplements people may need, like vitamin D, because we don't get to see enough sun. But most of the time people can really still get it with whole foods. It's not as complicated as we think. And it doesn't have to be hours in the kitchen. I mean, I'm not at the spot where with kids, I don't have time to, you know, spend hours in the kitchen like my grandmother did, but that doesn't mean that I can't use some of the same recipes and some of the same techniques.
All right. Usually the transition from a high diet that's just full with all the processed foods to a whole food is pretty tough.
It's a lot of steps.
All right,
yeah.
So
I try and look at health on a continuum. So at one end we have the people that are growing all their own food and wheatgrassing and you know, yay for them, but that's not most of us. And the other end we have the people that are fast food daily type of people. And so wherever somebody is on that continuum, my goal is to take them 1 or 2 steps closer to a healthy lifestyle. All
right. Can you be food specific for an illness?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, sure. There's definitely, oncologists send me people with cancer, and we very specifically talk about how they need to deal with their proteins, which need to be minimized, which carbohydrates are going to be best for them. There's foods that are better for inflammation, you know, decreasing inflammation, so we can focus on those. I'm sure there definitely are things that I can't deal with. There's stages of illnesses that are outside of food, and thank goodness for our American Medical Association and doctors at that point. But from my perspective, especially before we get to a chronic illness position, we can make a lot of changes, and very quickly. The body, I mean, we are designed to take care of ourselves, or we wouldn't still be here. I mean, we're amazing beings, and you know, we have if we give it the right information and the right nutrients, we're created to take care of ourselves.
We are in an incredibly stressful culture.
Yes.
I don't know anybody that doesn't fall into bed at night exhausted, pretty much burned out. How dangerous is this?
Very much so. Yeah, adrenal fatigue is one of the biggest problems I see, especially in women. And maybe because we're still the primary caretakers in the household, and even if we aren't, we feel that that responsibility. And I see it all the time. And that's really something, again, foods can help that, but learning to manage stress and getting out and exercising, those are really the 3 stool legs, in my opinion, to make sure that you get yourself taken care of.
Sugar. Where do I turn you loose on this? But I mean, everything's got it in it.
Yes, it does.
I mean, and I don't think you know you're addicted to something until you try to give it up.
Yes, and the withdrawal symptoms are horrible for people as they try and give it up. But there's healthier choices, so you can start just by, instead of trying to just go cold turkey, make some substitutions, substitute into honey or stevia, brown rice syrup, maple syrup, things like that that might be easier, and then start cutting back and hopefully get it at least limited. I don't know if we'll ever get sugar completely out of our diets.
Well, it's in everything.
It isn't when you're cooking for yourself, though.
Okay, touche. And that's what you teach people. By the way, Kellie has the right plan. She's a nutritional counselor. And let's see, therightnutritionplan.com?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, we got that down. And you can contact us here at the Dove for more information, but her phone number is 772-7526, 772-7526. I think so many people start on diets, Kellie, and just kind of go, what am I doing? How do you break through that barrier?
I think the best way is a couple things. First of all, make realistic goals. I mean, people come in and they say, I want to lose 30 pounds by my son's wedding.
Yeah, which is next week.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not going to be realistic. You're not setting yourself up for success. So being realistic with the goals, and then having a good support system. And that doesn't matter whether it's me as the support system or family, friends, church, whatever it is, that you're surrounding yourself with people that want to see you succeed, not people that are hoping that you fail. And those are, when people set those goals and they put the right people around themselves, it makes it a lot easier. When we're all choosing the best foods and we're all on board, it's easy. It's when that you're the only person doing it by yourself and everybody else is eating donuts, and you know, you take that willpower into a different problem.
Are you finding it's interesting that people don't know how to cook?
Yeah, especially at a certain age. You know, my mother's generation was, I think, the first people to begin to use a lot more of the processed foods. Yeah. And now I talk to people and we talk about things like kale, and their eyes glass over, and they get a look, and I have to say that the dark leafy green that's on the outside of a salad bar, I want you to eat that. Okay. And so yeah, it's not only are they not aware of the food, they don't even know what to do with it if I tell them this is the food I want you to eat. So they read some great books. There's a lot of great information out there, and it'll say eat more leafy greens, and the only one they may or may not know is spinach. And if they're anything like most of my clients, they cook the spinach till it's kind of brown and, you know, looks like algae out of Klamath or something. And you know, I wouldn't want to eat that either. And so I think, there's a lot to be learned with just learning how to do it right.
Can people sign up for your classes? How do they do that?
Most of them are all on the web. So we do in-person classes if people want to participate with Medford Co-op. They're our sponsor, and they take care of all that. And then we webcam them also. So anybody that's anywhere that is interested can at least get the information. All
right. Again, that is therightnutritionplan.com, and the right nutrition, all along one word there, therightnutritionplan.com, and you can check it out. You know, I find it so interesting that I've watched people transition to a whole food diet, and I watched them just completely change. Energy, they lose weight. There's nothing quick about this. It takes time. No, but the commitment is a lifestyle change more than anything else, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You got to get stuff out of your kitchen, get it out of your house.
Yeah, and take away the processed foods completely. Obviously, there's times where we have moments that we're going to still partake, but if 80% of the time you're eating the whole foods diet, the 20% that you need to have for birthdays and celebrations is completely okay. And there's most of the time better ways to make any food out there than some of the stuff that you can buy in a packaged form. So,
do we overcook?
Usually, yes. I think
the
especially
microwave thing, is that a bad thing? I mean, are we overdoing it?
I'm not a fan of the microwave at all. The science is really shows both sides, so I can't say yes 100%. the science says this, but the combo of the science and my personal opinion is we just denature the product. And you can, my husband disagreed with me, so we actually tested this. And so we took the same dinner that we wanted to reheat, and I put it in a quick steamer basket, and he put it in the microwave, and go to see. And it actually was almost identical in time, and mine stayed hotter for a lot longer. His cooled off very quickly.
Really?
Yeah, so we actually, it's a very unscientific little test at home, but most of the time you can heat things up either, a quick broil in the oven or a steamer basket. And
where are you with red meat?
I actually still love my meat.
Okay, so do we have a tendency to undercook it?
It depends. When it comes to red meat, it's actually more complicated than the cooking. The first step actually comes back to where did the meat come from. So here, because I'm local, I'm really lucky to be able to get grass-fed beef. Excuse me. It's a little more complicated outside our area sometimes, but that has such a higher ratio of omega-3s that it's almost as good as salmon. So at that point, I'm in favor of still eating the red meat. Now, if my only choice for red meat was farm-raised or hormone-ridden, what do they call those? The things they give them for antibiotics. Antibiotics. If that was my only choice for meat, then I would actually probably say that we shouldn't be eating red meat. But it's not the only choice.
You like the natural?
So the natural, and then the nice thing is you can actually cook that a little under and not have to worry about it because it hasn't gone through the same processing.
You are a believer of supplements? Some,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're always necessary for people. I think we have a tendency, we've bought into a system that says spend a lot of money and these little pills are going to take care of you. So I think there's a time and place for them, but the people that are taking 20, 30 at a time and spending a lot of money, they probably could do it a lot better.
All right, Kellie Hill, and again, it is therightnutritionplan.com. And her phone number is 772-7526. And I would say get a hold of her, sign up for one of her online classes, or maybe even some personal counseling. Once you convert over, you're going to feel better. Believe me, I've seen people do it. I've done it. I see you have a kiwi in here.
I do, yeah.
I had a doctor one time say eat a kiwi a day. And I have to tell you, it's wonderful.
They're good potassium sources.
I just came back from New Zealand where they're all over the place. Thanks for coming in, Kellie.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll be right back.